Mic check, test 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Let's see, Sketchbook Pro. I mean, I think regardless of program, should be a workaround. So, with line to like rendering and stuff like that, it's probably best to separate as much as possible to get like a cleaner render on it. So once you have your lines nailed down and everything like that, what I'm basically doing is setting up for that anyway. But I don't have the lines already like finished, but it's getting there. So once I have the lines and then the flat colors planned out, right, I open a new layer, and what you want to do is you want to... Man, rendering is quite the doozy. But basically, you're dealing with the forms, shape, and the overall... God, somebody's mowing the yard outside or something. It's noisy as fuck. So you're dealing with the form, shape, the texture, the lighting hitting the surfaces, whether or not it's like multiple, and the color of the light interacting with the color of the object. So there's a shit ton of things to think about, whether it's metal, skin, I don't know. So maybe it's better to compartmentalize it and break it up. You can do studies and stuff like that if you want to get more of a handle on things. Like, say if you're having trouble with metal, take something metal, like i.e. a spoon or something like that from the kitchen, and then set it down in front of you and paint from it before you go and actually do it. So what I would do is I would open a new layer for like I guess the shadows and stuff like that, and just start to plan out things. And I'm gonna set this to multiply, or I think I'm just gonna do the multiply method. It's easy enough. There's a couple of different methods, but basically you're gonna pick your light direction and cast the shadows on the object. And if you don't know how to do this, like how the light would interact with the object itself, what you want to do is probably sculpt the thing, or God, there's so many things about rendering. But basically, you just kind of want to know what you're going after and how it's gonna fall over the form. So I'm just trying to simplify it. I must hack it like cell shading at first, and then after that I go back in and blend and soften things, and I paint over the top. But basically, let's see. If you don't know how the lighting is going to interact with the forms, maybe you should sculpt a little head, or try to find some photo reference of something similar and see how the lighting is working on the forms, and then just try to copy it over. Hey, what's up, Tom? Yeah, long time no see indeed. It just comes down, I guess, to study and application to start rendering things. You kind of have to understand what you're going after and what you're trying to do before you can actually paint the thing. Because if you go in, doing the lines and then trying to go into it, it's just going to be a spaghetti mess at the end. So let's say it's coming down from the top, a little bit from the side. It's going to be catching his nose. The top of his nose thing. Top of his cheekbones. His eyes are going to be in shadow. Well, I already saw his eyes. His mouth thing. Just like a fire inside or whatever. Oh, and the cool thing about playing with the shadows, I guess, first to carve out and decide where your lights are going to go, is you can actually put the color of the shadow too. So I'm giving like a warm shadow, but you can actually do a cool shadow and have the light source be warm. I'm like, I don't even know. I can tell you like a good tutorial though, or good Gumroad to buy. One of my buddies made, and I think it'd probably be way more helpful. He's really knowledgeable on the stuff. I'll have to drop it in the chat. It's from Devin Platts or whatever. Let's see follows fellows, you can always draw lines over the form to get an idea. That's true. Yeah, my buddy has like a shading tutorial. It does like a really 3D sort of render on it. It's only like $3.50, but it's totally worth it. I bought it and I use the technique as well, and it saves my life. Let me try to find it. One second, Googling. Wait, I found it. Okay. There you go. There's a link in the chat for the thing. Form gets complicated when it's my design. It's not just box or circle. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, overall, it depends on where the planes are at and stuff like that. And, you know, doing cast studies or sculpture studies individually before you go in and paint things will give you a better understanding to apply to your work. So the reason why I know where to put things is because I actually do like a lot of little head sculpts and I paint from them a lot. And I find it helps to better inform me when I come back in and do these things. Like, regardless of what it is I'm painting, it just helps to have like a real world example. Let's see. Oh yeah, Charlie Blowwater. She has a class? I did not know. I'll have to really go check that out. Yeah, but there's lots and lots of really good Gumroads and good information out there. I think there should be some pretty good books and stuff like that. Yeah, but what else? Rendering. So just I guess drop a shadow. And then since that is a red on this spectrum, then the lighting's going to be pretty cool. So I'm going to go over to the opposite side of the color wheel and then pick more of a cyan sort of color and then bring it up a bit lighter. I'm going to open a new layer and I'm going to set it to, I guess, screen. I'm going to play around with the modes until I find something I like. Actually, what if I do overlay? Seems about right. So with overlay, you're going to take it and then illuminate the forms that are getting hit by the light. And then I'm going to erase back out with like a soft brush. But, I don't know. You can do so many different things. Actually, I'm going to go in with I guess a hard round angled brush, take down, make it slightly more soft. Then where the light's hitting, you're going to paint into it. Another thing, since I'm doing it like compartmentalized, each element of like light and stuff like that, and I'm building up to it, I keep the things separate on each layer. And on top of that, I also have my color picker set to current layer, so anything that I paint, I can just select the colors without interfering with the other layers, which is pretty useful. What else? Yeah, with the studies and everything like that, is definitely muscle memory, I guess. It just kind of gets into your head, and it's kind of hard to explain after a while because it just becomes like second nature. So, let's see. What makes you choose to draw something like this? Almost looks Chinese. Let's see. Pretty much I just wanted to do like a demon piggy sort of design thing. I had a couple different ideas in my mind when I was doing it. Like Terrata's stuff. And what else? You know, like Angkor Wat, like Buddhist temples and stuff like that, like the statues and like the weird demon faces that are carved into them or whatever and whatnot. I thought those were really neat. I was like, okay, I want to do like an armor design. I was like looking at a bunch of different armors I had, and I don't know. So I guess it's a little bit like Asian influenced on top of everything else, and then just a bunch of like old video game stuff. And piggies, because, you know, why not? And I don't know, just something I've been wanting to do. Let's see, let's get Sketchbook Pro. Let's see. So that would be eliminated too. And then basically after that, you can go in and add another light source if you want, but you can go in and paint over the top now on a normal layer or whatever. Just set the color picker to all layers now. Or you can go back into each layer and refine it, like take the lines and actually blur them and smudge them and paint them out underneath, and then work all through the layers to blend everything together. If you paint over the top, you're going to get more of a natural feeling, but if you go back in and do everything else, it's going to feel more Photoshoppy and digital. So it depends on the type of look you're going for. But yeah, that Gumroad is like way more concise and to the point than what anything I could probably ever tell you here. Hey, thanks, Tom. But yeah, you just try to keep things, and depending on where the shadow's at, how it crests over the thing and like over the form, you want to keep your lights within the light realm or whatever, and then the shadow within the shadow, and keep it distinct. Because when you start blending too much, that's when things get muddied up, and then it's like the form is dropping way too into shadow too fast, and the halftone isn't, you know, right? I don't know, it's just, God. Oop. Hey, thanks Quinn for hosting me. And just try to keep things distinct. But yeah, painting over is one way, and then coming back and like going into the lines and actually like smudging things is pretty neat, and I do it a lot. It gives it more of like a 3D feel. But yeah. Let's see, what else can I do? Could do like spooky underlighting. It's like super spooky. Current layer. Not erase it out. Do a different lighting direction. And that's the thing too, is like make sure the lighting works for your character or whatever. Like if you're trying to make an evil character or a good character, try to also play up the lighting to show that type of attribute. Don't just do a certain standard kind of lighting thing just because. Like really think about it and think about what you're trying to push, because lighting can give us a lot of cute like cues or whatever emotionally. And it also can actually, you can use it as a compositional element too, to make the viewer look a certain way, like look through the piece a certain way. If that makes sense, I don't know. I'm like, A lot of old masters are really good with like lighting setups and making stuff look cool. Let's see, Tom, I'm really glad you got a mic. Must be easier instead of having to stop and type. Well, I was typing earlier because it was like really loud. I still do like just listen to music and like type. I don't mind it. It's not very bad. It's usually not busy in here, so typing is usually the thing. And I'm really not I'm out of practice with talking and painting, so I don't really do it very often. I don't know. Let's see, the lighting from his blow, and that would be casting a shadow on this. It's being shadow. I don't know, maybe I need to like practice that more, talking and painting. It's like splitting your brain so many times. Don't know how people do it. Gonna erase back out. Ugh, the soft brush is killing me. I'm gonna get more of a hard edge brush to do this with. Just make everything super, super clear. There we go. Spooky underlighting for the one. I should probably finish the lines though. But that's the thing too, you don't want to jump ahead of steps either. If you haven't completed like a certain thing in the piece, you should probably stick and finish the thing that you're trying to finish before hopping on to the other parts. I know that rendering and painting into it might be really fun or appealing, but it will probably hurt you if you jump ahead too far before you have everything figured out. And I do that a lot myself, especially on these streams. I'm like, did it again. Jumped ahead into the painting part. And things weren't figured out, like the hands won't even be done. I'll jump into it, and then when I finally get around to the hands, it's like, how do I even hands? It's really bad. It's the worst. Rookie mistake. That's the thing too. You can see that I've been avoiding the hands. I just now noticed that, like, the hands are not done. Like, this guy's hand is, like, off to the side, not even attached to his body. Gish. Guys, do as I say and not what I do. Oh no! Thanks for coming by, Tom. Have a good one. Those internet battles, man. Fighting with the family. The internet's good times. I think it's gonna be like hitting up like this, so let's see. But basically, let's see. And the reason I'm like using like a harder edged brush or whatever is just to get more of a distinct line or separation of value to really know what's going on. Because if I was to use a soft brush, things would be harder to really figure out or plan. I can always just go back and soften that layer. I don't know. But yeah, do what you're comfortable with, I guess. This is my weird way of working about it. Another thing, instead of doing the multiply layer thing, one of my buddies showed me this, is that you... Jesus Christ. No. Default colors, come on. Always fun. Okay. Like if you take a... or like a 50%. There we go. Take a 50% gray, fill it, and what was it? Put it under hard light mode, I think. Yeah. And then take a slightly darker gray. What you do is you can paint in your shadows this way, and then what you can can't even English right now. Just going full derp mode. Just derping. So derpy. So in hard light mode, 50% gray, fill the whole entire canvas, and then paint in with a slightly darker gray. And then what you can do is you can bring it into hue saturation. Yes, Kebab. I can talk. I decided to talk to explain this instead of having to type it. Take it into hue saturation on the thing. Click colorize. And then you can actually colorize everything and have like an overall, like, I can't even English. Like, just have an overall color mood to the whole entire thing. And then, like, you'll have the light color plus the shadow color all in one go. I don't know if that makes any sense. So basically, I'm just gonna play around and find a really cool tone. Play around with like the lightness and the darkness of it. Value. You can make it really uber saturated, but I try to keep it kinda not too. Kinda like that. Photoshop wizardry, right? And then have the eyedrop tool on current layer again once you get the mood established that you like, and then just start selecting the shadow color, and then you can paint in, and then select back and paint back out the light source, and you can have like a consistent mood and then consistent shadow color all throughout it, which is nice. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna go back to listening to music because I don't know what to talk about. I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. So, how about that sports team? Sports. Don't replace feels bad, man. I don't know. That sports ball game, right, guys? You know, I hope that home team beats rival team. Rival team sure does suck. I don't know. I'm trying to erase back. Oh, you know what else is really, really cool? Is to set the brush to like brush projection or whatever. So if like you tilt your pen, it'll make it distort. So you can actually get pretty neat line variation, and it's pretty nifty when inking. So you could have more of like a natural look instead of everything being so damn uniform. So you can get like really thin. And you can lay it on the side and get like a thicker stroke, all depending on how you hold it and like the way you aim it and stuff like that. It can actually change the whole entire shape and direction of the brush, and I love it. It's awesome. It's a game changer. Do it, guys, if you can, or don't do it. Doesn't matter. It's just a cool little new thing that I'm like, oh, I never messed around with this. That was cool. Just recently started using it, and it's like, oh, these lines feel much better now. Also trying to figure out an overall color scheme of each character. Just messing around with a bunch of different swatches. And I think I'm gonna change like the... I was trying to like do like a... You know, some wild boars have like a mohawk or whatever. I think it's the African boars or something. I wanted to kind of do that, but I don't think it's coming out right. I need to probably redraw it. You live and you learn. Started breathing with your mouth open again. Oh my god. Drink water, kebab. Oh my god. Is it like some sort of wicked cold, or are you just having allergies? Like, what's up with that? It's super weird. Let's see. Hey, you can So then darken this up just a little bit more so I can see it a bit better. So are you having trouble with bringing it to the like rendering or whatever? What exactly do you want me to tackle with this piece? Like, what are you having the most trouble with so I can help you? Too many followers. Oh my god. Can't see straight and right. You're like, I can't even see what's going on. Just gonna add in those horns. Light and shadow, 3/4 lighting. Okay, so what we can do, I'll do this in black and white because then you can just add in the colors later. Let's pick a nice mid-tone. Do a lighter gray. Drop the value a bit. I'm gonna work on getting the silhouette. But the thing is, generally when you're doing a single character, like design, when you want to show the whole entire thing, don't crop out any of the elements or have it hugging the edges because it'll look awkward. So, you know, just a thought. You don't have to do it though. Just gonna mask him out real fast. Make everything a lot easier. I know, everyone's over right now and noisy. This is why I stream at night and play music. People, man, with their being alive and stuff. Just doing this the old-fashioned way. Is there a fast forward button? But basically, if you separate this guy and like have a nice mask to clip him to, it'll make everything so much more easy. That's true. That's true. But I don't like what happens when you do that. There's like weird jagged edges that happen, so I'd rather just paint it in and be slow. Let's see. Oh my god. The follower thing just keeps on going off. Yeah, that's true. And also if the line art's not perfectly intact, it's gonna like select the inside as well. So I don't know, I just go through and do this